Good morning. I'm Sensei Mish. Actually, it's not morning, it is afternoon because it is December 31st, 2023 at 1:23 in the afternoon. So technically it is 123, 123, 123. So uh welcome to Sunday Tea with me. Um I was gonna, like last week I said I was gonna come on today. I did not know what time. I wanted to come on earlier. And then I had errands to run because it's New Year's Eve. I don't know what time places close. So in the car on the way back, I was like, I saw that it was 12:30, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. So anyway, welcome to the last day of 2023. I don't know how 2023 has served you. It has served me well, and it has served me not so well. In fact, the last couple of months, I should say, I have not been feeling as grateful as I think I should be. I don't know. Because I am very grateful for everything that I have, for my friends. And then yesterday, even though I've closed the school for the week, only for the week, classes start up again tomorrow. I closed the school for a week to, do some cleaning and organizing, but because I've been working at the shop and been really tired and everything else going on, I just had not spent as much time as I was hoping to at the school to clean. So a little bit behind schedule. But even though I had canceled classes, we still had our, and that ding is the email saying that I'm online. Even though I had canceled classes, we still had a lab, a Rory Miller training lab. Last because it's the last Saturday of every month, and so we did a lab. Now, it ended up being just me and Rory. We have a cohort who is in Greece, I think, somewhere. Not in the States, let's just say that. And so he had actually reached out and says, hey, is there going to be a lab? I'd like to bounce stuff off of you guys, some ideas off of you guys. Could I Zoom in? And I was like, absolutely, you can Zoom in. No problem. We'll set it up. So he actually ended up not feeling well. And even though I sent him the link and all that kind of stuff, he actually ended up sleeping. He fell asleep because I think it's like the lab is like at 12:30 noon on Saturdays. And then what is it? 12:30 noon on Saturdays. And I think that was like 10:30 p.m. his time. So, kitty, out. Stop sniffing. So anyway, yeah. So he fell asleep. So it just ended up being me or Rory. And then, like most Saturdays, Carl Kanthak rolls up. And, Carl's a good friend of mine. He has a school down the street. We've known each other for, I don't know, 20 years now, or going on 20 years. I think it's been been at least 15, I think, at least 15 years, if not longer. So anyway, because he shows up on Saturday and we just sometimes just chat. So he shows up and not necessarily for the lab, but just to chat. And so the three of us end up having a conversation. And one of the things that came up, because one of the things I'm doing is I'm redoing my the little wall where I have my merit badges. And because I'm adding to them. I actually have I created a whole sheet. I have a schedule for the merit badges of, you know, every 2 weeks what we're going to be doing for the entire year. And I figured just make it easy. I'm just going to do that every year. So, and to be cliche about it, the first badge we're going to be working on is goals. Yeah, New Year's resolutions, all fun stuff. So, so anyway, I had talked, you know, that had come up in conversation, and I said, this is what it's supposed to look like, because I had, it was just waiting to be painted. I had moved a lot of stuff off to the corner. I had cleaned up enough to have a lab, but still had a bunch of stuff out that I was organizing. So, we were talking about all these different things, and Rory's like, oh, well, you know, I could come up with some badges, and they wouldn't be really appropriate for kids. And we kind of laughed about that. But I talked about the friendship badge, and I had, I want to get on my phone here. There's this, because there is not a friendship badge in Brandon Belisso's thing. And so I'm coming up with one. I'm writing it now. And then I got to pay for the badges, all that kind of stuff. But that's beside the point. There was a video that came out, and I don't know who the guy was. But he's a cute. These are little merit badges. So anyway, so he's a BJJ guy, and but it's killing me that I cannot find this, because basically he was talking about 5 different there's really 5 different. He talked about having 5 different friends. There's your spiritual friend, your that you go to for spiritual stuff. There's your confidant, and the last one, I'm trying to figure out how to make it kid friendly, but basically it's your hitman friend who, you can call anytime, and he's going to be the one that's going to be pick up he's basically going to be like, do I need a bat or a shovel? And no questions asked. And then there's, then one of the friends is somebody that you can not necessarily confide in, but basically say, hey, this is, hey, I just made $1 million. And the friend would be like, dude, that's amazing. What are you going to do next? And not expect any cent of that $1 million. Not like, oh, you made $1 million. Where are we going? You're taking us to Vegas, So it's, and he talked about like the 5 basic friends. And if you have that one friend that encompasses most of those, more than one of those things, then you need to tell that person and be like, hey, of the 5 different type of friends, blah, 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 you encompass more than one of those qualities. And I appreciate you for that. And so we were talking about this, and I was basically the Matt chat, the message of the friendship badge was going to be based off of these 5 friends. And in that moment, it was like, I have 2 of my favorite people in the room with me, and I have lots of favorite people. Jim Korn, who's might be the only one. I mean, he commented earlier, he might be the only one watching right now, but he reached out to me, and he just said, hey, I'm just going down the list, just calling people just to wish them a happy New Year's and see how they're doing. And I just thought that was great. That, that actually kind of sparked me to call a couple of people that I had not actually talked to in a while. So I thought that, that was really nice. But here, like Rory. Rory is somebody that, you know, I met through, I met him. Let's see, I didn't really meet him through somebody. I was introduced to him. I was introduced to one of his books through, um, uh, through Steve Perry, a writer. And then after I read a couple of Rory's books, I was like, I have to meet this person. And then pretty much it just kind of, you know, when I actually met him, um, you know, he told me that even though, you know, he was kind of like, you know, a private person, but, you know, he had good friends, you know, he had not a lot of friends, but good friends. And it would almost like, it was almost kind of like, now thinking back, I think it was almost like a little test to be like, oh, you know, is this guy, you know, is this guy a freak? Because I told him, I said, look, I said, you know, uh, I wanted to get to know him a little bit more because I think he was just a very interesting person. I loved his writing. I wanted to learn from him more. And so I basically just jokingly said, I said, okay. I said, well, we don't have to be BFFs, but how about this? I'll just check in on you every now and then. And, you know, just enough to stay friendly, but not stalkerish. And he laughed and was like, yeah, okay, whatever, kid, you know. And now, I don't know, however many years later, like we get together once a month. I host his training lab. Um, uh, I appreciate this friendship that kind of grew. Like I knew I wanted to be friends with him. I knew that he had some value to give me, and I was hoping that I had some value to give him. And not this time, because this lab was very unproductive, but the last lab, like it was, you know, it was just the two of us, because sometimes the lab is just the two of us, and sometimes we've had like 10 people there or more. And so I'm encouraging anyone who lives locally, the lab, just, you know, last Saturday of the month, every month, show up, $20 mat fee. And yeah, you'll learn something. I'm possibly going to make it a virtual thing too. So like if you want to, like, you know, because it's a think tank for martial artists. It's really great. Anyway, he basically was like, yeah, he's, you know, he says, I really appreciate your input on this, you know, gave me things to think about, things I didn't even think about, you know. And and so, you know, I jokingly said, I said, well, you know, I said, oh, what is it? I said something like, you know, I'll just take 10% of your royalties. And he jokes and you know, he laughs and he says, well, you know, definitely you're going to be a, you know, I'll put you down in my, you know, basically put me down in his book as not necessarily a contributor, but as acknowledgments on the acknowledgement page, because you always have those. And I was like, cool. But in that, he said, you know, he said, I really valued your input. And we have certain people that show up pretty much on a regular basis. And he even proposed the question, should we even open the lab up to other people? Because he's like, I want, you know, he says, I really like getting the impact or input from you and JT and Jason and Brian and all these people, the Amy that show up someone on a regular basis. And so it's one of those things where it's like, and, you know, and Rory and I have also gotten together outside of the lab, you know, as friends, but it was confirmation that I do give value back to him, which is friends. I mean, that's friends. And so I'm thinking about this badge, you know, and realizing that I've got, that, you know, even with Carl there, like Carl he's always been extremely supportive, you know, not just me opening my school, but anything, you know, seminars I host, you know, if I have I've had issues in the past, and I've talked to him. I mean, he's a super smart guy, and I really value his friendship. And it really got me thinking about all of these other people that I have been friends with. And it also reminded me and I don't know who posted, maybe JT posted it, or TJ. Sorry, TJ. I know a JT as well, but I think TJ may have posted a meme, or maybe I saw it somewhere else. But it basically was like, martial artists are unique, is that they potentially are able to have, friends, and this is totally paraphrased, friends all over the world. And that is so true. Like, when I think of these people that I've met, a handful of times, I consider them my friends. I don't know if they consider me their friend, but when it comes to the martial arts brother and sisterhood, it's family. Like, I like going out to Indiana to see, for Jim's camp. That's like going to a family reunion, where we don't fight. I mean, we might fight physically, but it's considered training, but it's not like arguing, or, it's not the family drama. It's, basically family getting together and training and learning and meeting new people. And, it was, I went out there, I think the first time I think it was July of 2015 or something like that. And I try and make it out there as much as I can. And I haven't been able to make it out there as much as I've wanted, but I try and make it out there at least once a year. Sometimes I've made it out there twice a year, but it's one of those where, I'm visiting my family. And that kind of got my thinking, is that friends are family members that we choose, because we're born into a family. We have, if there's siblings already, we have automatic siblings and aunts and uncles and grandparents. We don't choose any of that. And as we get older, sometimes we choose not to have anything to do with those people. And like me, I have two half sisters that I choose not to acknowledge, even though I just acknowledge them. There's family I just don't give a shit about, to be honest. But my friends, I have chosen them to be part of my family, and in turn, they have chosen me to be part of their family. And I think it's the friendship thing is just gone. I've is being able to articulate that into a mat chat is going to be nuts. Jim says, gotta go, Mish. Happy New Year. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. We'll talk soon. So all the friends that, like, I have a group of friends that I work with doing security for years, at least a decade, some of them more. We have this group, it's called the Cynical Seven. And we got this name because that's what management named us, which I find super funny, even though it's kind of insulting, but it is what it is. But we are the Cynical Seven. But these gentlemen, I've placed my life in their hands, and we have not just become friends, but we have become brothers. And, I've moved on from doing security. Derek has moved on from doing security. We don't all work together anymore. Others who still work at Providence, they have moved on to other positions within the department. But it's one of those where it's, I still want to see them, and I still want to get together with them. So and we always talk, oh, let's get together. When can we do drinks? When can we not? And of course the schedule never matches up. So we got what is it? I started working at the shop with Derek. That's actually kind of how I found out about the job. And we decided, hey, you know what? We've been talking about getting together. We just need pick a day. Let's just pick a day and we'll get together. And then expanded on that. And I was like, I value these people. I want to see these people. And, we've all got lives. We all got jobs. We've all got all these different things. So it's one of those where it's like, let's do this monthly. So I have basically a monthly dinner. If you can't make it, then you can't make it, because there's going to be one next month. And we've done this about 3 months in a row. We were able to get 4 of us together. Me, Derek, Corey, and Ian. We got together, and we actually changed the day to a Sunday because B, he always has grandson duty on Saturdays. And I was like, dude, you can bring your grandson. I'd bring, if I was watching James would be coming with me. Sorry, buddy. It's just, you're hanging out with Papa and his buddies, but it's just one of those things where it's like, let's modify it so as many people can get together as possible. And it's been great because I get to see these people now regularly. And I think about it. I did this for selfish reasons because I wanted to see these people, but I know that they wanted to see each other too. So it's, now it's just, we just make a date every month. Have not made a date for January yet, but that will be coming soon. But it really comes down to it, like these friends, like one of the reasons I like doing this is because, and not that Rob and I don't talk off of this, because he started reading Will Whedon's book, Still Just a Geek. And he had the same issues with it that I did. And so, of course, we talked about that. And we talk off and on and share inappropriate memes and all that. But I love getting on here and, him interacting. And so I don't know. I just, another reason I think I do this is because I just get to talk and basically bullshit and drink tea. But I have these friends of mine that interact with me through this. So, and that's great. So, really kind of circling around, like I appreciate, I feel gratitude towards all of the people that have chosen to allow me to be part of their lives. So, whether we call ourselves brothers or friends, I'm not really anybody's sister, but they can call me a brother and I can call them a sister. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm very grateful for that. And it's sad that the last couple of months I have not been feeling grateful at all yet. And of course, on the second to the last day of the year, it's like, it's like that. It's like that one, that student that asked the perfect, like you've been trying to explain something to somebody, a student, let's say, and you've been having issues and you're just like, God, because you want to explain it the right way so they get it. And then one day they ask maybe the same question in a little bit different way, but do it. But basically they ask the perfect question, the perfect way, and it just clicks. And you're like, oh my gosh, I know what to see. So that was kind of my epiphany that, I had 2 of my favorite people in the room and we were just basically just bullshitting. And it was just, I had this, like, I'm so grateful for that, Kevin French, hey Sensei, Happy New Year from Australia. Happy New Year to you as well. And Emmett, sir, how are you? Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, see, it's people from all over the world. So I've got my tea. Oh, I got to share this. So because I don't think I can't remember what day it is anymore. Anyway, so Christmas. My kids, we go over to my kids. Thomas, how are you, sir? Thank you for tuning in. Another good friend I haven't seen in a long time, but I always wish him well. I hope you're doing well, Thomas. So we go over to my Christmas happens. I sleep in, hang out, and then we go over to my son's house for Christmas dinner, and we're handing out gifts and all that kind of stuff. And I get this. It is a tea seeper thing. It's like a butt turd. And I totally they're like, now you can seep your tea, like the loose tea, and just hang, because this hangs off the edge of the cup, it's shaped differently, but kind of like that, but it's supposed to go like this. So I tried this out. It's silicone, so it floats. And even though there's these little holes in there on both sides for water to get in there and seep in there, yes, love it. It's amazing. I thought it was so funny. Yeah, it doesn't work because silicone floats. And the holes they're like right. I don't know. It didn't work for me, but the holes in there just didn't allow enough water in to get, because it sat in there for a while, and I tried to keep it down with a fork, and then I'm like, well, it just wasn't working because tea is supposed to change color. You can kind of see, so I don't pour it on my, there's some green tea in there, but that tea is the shit. Yeah, it is. It's pretty funny. So no, I love this gift. This is really, but unfortunately it didn't work. And the thing is, okay, so what I was saying is that so I was trying to keep it down in the water with like a fork, and it just, so it would, yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, it's not working because it's not changing color. So then I pop this out because that's where the stuff goes. Yeah, the tea was dry. So anyway, I wish it worked a little bit more. Maybe my daughter was like, well, maybe you'll have to make the holes bigger. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, but I thought I would share that. Let's see. Mine hang on the side, not loose like that one. Well, how do you, oh, you mean like it like clips on, it just like clips on inside like that, or where it, yeah. Because this one will actually, it'll sit on the, because the cup thing goes right there, and then that just sits down there. Just add higher holes. Possibly, yes. Yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. Now, talk about friends and martial arts and having friends all over the world. So one thing I love, one thing I'm very grateful for having a school and being an instructor is that I get, and I'm sure that other people get this too, but I have gotten gifts from parents or kids, students. So this blew me away. Okay. So I got this gift from the student. He's been with me a little over a year, I think. Maybe a little over a year. Can't remember exactly when he started, but got me a little gift. And in the box was this Legends of Star Trek. And it's, you know, there's a little patch in there, but it's the Enterprise. Okay. The writing is really too small on here, but it's basically from Enterprise. It says design 2005. So this she found, I think she said she found this in a thrift store. Or no. It wasn't a thrift store. I'm totally wrong. It was it was like a not a comic book store. It was like a game store, collector card store, something like that. Anyway, so she found this. So basically, you know, and she's like, oh, and it's a Johnny Lightning, I think, brand. Anyway, so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, she got me vintage Star Trek. This is so cool. And vintage. Oh, I got another thing to talk about vintage, but I was like, what an amazing gift. I thought that was so cool. So like with this, I also got like candy and chocolates and a card and all kind of stuff, but I just thought this was so cool. Okay. Because they're into Star Wars, and to reach out and give me a Star Trek gift, I thought that was really cool. Now, the other cool thing, I don't know why that's up there. Another student got me $100. Now, this is an adult student. He gives me $100 to the tattoo place so I can get more tattoos. So I just thought that was so cool. Emmett says, I closed my school, will reopen in 2025. Just need to take a break and concentrate on my own training for a bit. Still involved in managing the other 8 schools, though. Hey, that's... But to have a goal of opening back up in 2025, that's great. I love, you know, my landlord actually came to me and was like, oh, you know, in April, will be 6 months before your lease ends. We'll sit down then and talk about what a new lease might look like if you want to stay. And I'm like, yeah, I want to stay. So we'll see how that goes. Thomas says, I think of you every time I see Star Trek stuff. LOL. Hey, it's Star Trek. And even now, like, I just kind of have it on the background as I've been cleaning and organizing the school, or reorganizing the school. I have found, what is it? I've been watching The Next Generation, and I'm only like, I don't know, 15 episodes into season 1. My God, I know I did a year of Trek. Season 1, it's just so awkward to watch. Watching it now, I'm just like, wow. And to be honest, I don't even think I even watched, what is it? Fight of Honor, or whatever that one episode was where Tasha Yar fights a black girl over like it was so horribly stereotypical and racist, this episode. And I cringed watching it this last time around, and this time I just was like, I just wanted this background, you know, I'm not really watching, but I'm like, I can't even have it on as background stuff. Yeah, I can't remember the episode name, but you know, season 1 is just so bad. I mean, it's still good Trek, but it's still awkward. And I don't know why it's awkward. Maybe it's just like the character, you know, you're still, because I think it's part acting. I don't know. Like, even watching season 1 of the original generation, I never felt awkward watching that. Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, we know it gets better. So, Oh, let's see. And even after today, I'm still going to go up to the school and finish cleaning. I'm not completely finished. Um, the writing was okay, but improved. So I think it is partially the writing too. It's got to be a lot of the writing because the acting really hasn't like acting wasn't horrible, but yeah, I think it was, like let's connect this. This is a stretch. Uh, George Clooney as Batman. I don't think he was a horrible Batman. I just think the movie was horrible. Like you can only do so much with that with a poorly written script. Like I think that George Clooney would have made a fine Batman if the movie had been if the script had been better. So so yeah. So I think okay, so last week I think I had mentioned something about taking my what is it called? My mannequin, Fred. That's his official name is Fred. And then doing taking like pinstripe stuff and labeling out all the meridians and then doing little stickers like that. So I haven't purchased any, but they're all sitting in my shopping cart because it's like $12 a piece. But it's like this really thank you, Meridian Lines. Appreciate. But I found the pinstriping that I want. They're like $12 a roll. So so I will be I think I'll buy a couple, film. I might buy one and then film a couple because I only need 5 because there's only 5, five colors for meridians. Maybe 6 because then I can do a different color. Maybe I can do. I can't really. Well, it's a black mannequin because I was thinking, well, white could be for like black could be for yin for the conception line, and then white could be for the governor meridian. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do white for both, just because they're. But the other thing is that also the connecting. Maybe I'll get white to connect for like the yang linking, and the girdle vessel and the thrusting vessel. I think that might be so. There'll be all those different connections. I think that. So really, yeah. As Thomas says, finally, yes. I think it's time. I think how long has Fred been around? Like 20 years. It's about time. So, but anyway, so that's going to be a thing. I have to clean the school though, and I think I'm going to. What is it? I've been debating about this. I think I'm actually going to put my rank stuff on the walls in the school, but it's not going to be in front. It's going to be towards the back. It'll be kind of a back wall art thing. It'll be like, ooh, what's that? Oh, certificates. So, so yeah, that might be a thing. Haven't made my final decision on that, but anyway, but yeah, I think that might be a thing. And what else am I doing? I'll post pictures because I'm not making big changes, but like just enough to kind of clean stuff up and do that. Oh, and I am adding to my collage of not really collage of photos, but I'm adding to that as well. So there'll be more because in the when you walk in, there's this wall. It's got all these pictures of my life in the martial arts, and some of them don't even have me in it. It's just just people. And so I think the new ones I'm going to do is going to be stuff that's happened at the school. So, pictures of students, pictures I have of people teaching. Just I think so. It'll be maybe some promote, because most of the pictures I have are promotion pictures, but I think that would be more appropriate. And I think I'm only going to put up 13, because there's enough that go here and then up and then over. So Thomas says you need a U display. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it, truly, because I mean, right now the brand is me, but to build a brand that's just artisan and not mish, but really people are coming to train with me. So I don't know. That's why I'm still kind of on the fence, but it is what it is. We'll see how far that goes. Another cool thing is that not only did I get the tea thing, but I got all of my all the Murderbot diary books. So this is the most recent one, System Collapse, but I purchased that on my own. But we got all of them, so I'm quite excited for that. So that was fun. Now I have all of them, so I can actually sit and physically read and do that. What else is there? Yeah, not a lot. Have some. Oh, you like that series? So Thomas, where did you hear about that series? Because I've heard from it. I heard from it from a friend of mine, and then so I downloaded the first book and fell in love instantly. But I love the Sec Unit and all of his his little misadventures, and I'm looking forward to the the Apple TV series, whenever that's going to end up being. But I don't know if you know, but the people that did Foundation for Apple TV are the people that did are doing the Murderbot series. So, or Murderbot Diaries. Really looking forward to it. Mixed feelings, but really looking forward to it. What was a show that Lisa was watching recently? She just kind of binge watched all 4 seasons with Gillian Anderson. And Gillian Anderson, at least in the show, like this new show she's in, I don't know how new it is, but she's kind of aged well. I mean, Gillian is she's sexy. And for those of you who don't know who Gillian Anderson is, she played Agent Scully, Dana Scully, in the X-Files, and she is one hot older lady now. So, but it's called what? Sex Education is the TV show. It's on Netflix, I think. Yeah, it's kind of like watching soft porn. It's funny, awkward, interesting. Kitty out. But yeah, so I watched a little bit of that. way hotter now than she was then. Yeah, I mean, she's aged well, but then again, we were younger and now we're older. So like, I don't know. I would prefer an older woman now than I would a younger woman, at least, age wise. Okay, so back on Murderbot. So you found him on Kindle and you're following the info, but you got them on unlimited. Oh, so you own them all now. Cool. Nope. Still as a kid. Okay. Still as a kid. Find that she's hotter now. Okay. No, hey. You do you, man. I don't know. I saw a picture today. It was a gal in a bathing suit, and it was like Time Magazine. What is it? Time Magazine's image of the perfect woman, and she's got some meat on her, like not super skinny, just some meat. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty. Like, that's yeah, because I think you gotta have a woman with meat on her bones. I can't do the skinny girls. But I just thought that was interesting about how our concept of beauty has changed over the years of what people are what standards people are considering. I tell everyone that I am Thomas Uki Lee and direct them to Kyusho Corner. That's funny. Yeah, I have not I've not filmed any. Well, I have 2 episodes with other people teaching stuff, but I don't have anything of me teaching yet for this year. So we will at some point have new episodes out. That's kind of why I'm doing the Meridian thing on Fred, because it's a project I've wanted to get done, and I think it might be good for might be a good episode. And I know we were talking about this last week. I just don't know how long the project would take. So, because I just figured I'll just put up a couple cameras and then just do it, talk about it. Here's where the points are. So this is where the lines go. And just kind of go from there. And then I think Rob was like, ooh, new product. And I'm like, I don't know. This would be more like, hey, this is a DIY, because that's just so much work to get done. But, and then I've got all these other book projects I'm working on. Even one of the things where, I kind of bounced some stuff off of Rory last month, and it was just, all I've done is just put them down in notes. Like, I don't know, the last couple months have just kind of been blah for me. That's why the whole gratefulness and all kind of stuff, and just not feeling grateful. But and that's kind of where the whole friendship talk came from, and I'm backtracking. But so anyway, my tea hasn't even come to an end. Jeez. But I do have some exciting things planned for 2024. I have a manners class that I'm designing for kids, and I have Thomas, I am grateful for you. Well, thank you, Thomas. I am grateful for the friendship that we have, even though we don't see each other as much as we have in the past. I've always been grateful for you. I think that you're an awesome human being, and I think that the friendship that we have is amazing. So if I haven't told you that, now I'm just telling the whole world, but there you go. I do. I do very much appreciate you. Um, but and I even lost my train of thought on what I was talking about before you posted that. But I thank you, and I, you know, um, manners class, doing a manners class for kids, kind of like a manners and etiquette. Right now, it's kind of an all like boys and girls, but I was still thinking maybe about just doing just a boys class. Um, I I was watching something. I was watching something yesterday that kind of inspired that thought again about um, about men not being taught how to be men. And that's kind of really where this whole thing came from. Not just manners and etiquette, but you know, what it is to be um, a man, but not be a toxic man, you know, just but still have like you hold doors open for people, you know. Um, you know how to not necessarily say the right things, but you know, you say please and thank you and yes ma'am and yes sir and just all the things, like knowing what fork to use, knives on both sides, you know, all the like kind of like a not so much Emily Post, but still uh you know, give the kid like how to tie a tie, how to do those things. uh Happy New Year from Spain, from Javier. Happy New Year's to you too. What? Okay, so it is 2:15 here. What time is it where you're at? By pre-tied ties? No, they got to learn how to tie it themselves. Yeah, that's you know. Now this is kind of funny. Um, uh, and here's the thing. This is one of the things that the the reason that Lisa was suggested that we also have it as a boys and girls class, because I was thinking, and this is a thought that came up after, oh, what's her name, the gal who owns Kazoodles. They used to do a little girls' tea, or like a tea party. So. All right. Well, Thomas says it's midnight in Spain. So truly happy New Year. And it is 9:15 a.m. in Australia. So Kevin is actually in the new year. So that's awesome. And that kind of makes sense because who's over there in Australia? I can't remember his name. Is it Bob Withy? I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. But he always wishes me a happy birthday the day before. So it would make sense that he's a day ahead of us. So Spain is an hour ahead of the Netherlands. Okay. But yeah, so anyway, so that's it's still kind of all coming together, but I've got that going. We're doing a seminar, potential seminar. I've got my got mixed feelings about this. Of those watching, whether you're live or you've made it this far and you're still watching this recorded later, please comment who would actually go to a seminar on Sunday or specifically Palm Sunday. I'm not a religious person. Okay. I could care less. It's Sunday to me. But I know that there's a lot of religious people out there. Palm Sunday is a big thing for Christians. Would you come to a seminar? And not necessarily like, not necessarily like big name people. Like, I'm not bringing, like, Korn wouldn't be there. Dillman wouldn't be there. Bram wouldn't be there. Like, not any big name people, just some very talented martial artists that are kind of no names. Would you go to a seminar on Palm Sunday? I'm just throwing that out there. Please comment, respond, see. Okay. Thomas would count me in for helping with all those needs done. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I'll keep you posted. So no. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so either. So anyway, potentially there's a seminar coming up. I'm hosting it on that day. I'm kind of in it, but it's just one of those where it's like, there's just sometimes you just don't hold a seminar on certain weekends. So maybe it might be rescheduled. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, Bob Withy, haven't heard from him in a while either. Also from Kevin. Yeah. Yeah, he usually will wish me a happy birthday. I don't know. I think he might have bought my Q Show book. Maybe he's bought a couple books. I can't remember, but anyway. But yeah, no, it's I've never met Bob in real, but I hear he's a pretty cool guy from the people that I've talked to. So I'm sure I'm a pretty cool guy to some people, and I'm sure I'm an asshole to others. So anyway, let's see. Technically, my hour's almost up because I've got 3 minutes, because I actually came online. For those of you who didn't start with me, I actually came online at 1:23. So it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that wasn't planned. Of course it was planned. Says, yeah, he's a really nice guy. Well, it's good. It's good that more than a few people say that. I actually, to be honest, I haven't heard anything negative about Bob. I really haven't. So, see, what about the guy from my first seminar who was from Australia? Actually, he was not from Australia. He was from, I know exactly who you're talking about. It was at a Taekwondo school, but it wasn't in Gresham. It was Che's school off of 116th and Halsey. No, I know exactly who you're thinking about. I can see him. Ian, what's his last name? He just kind of disappeared off the map too, because he's not listed. He hasn't been listed on Dragon Society's website for a long time. Ian, the last name escapes me, but I do know where. Yeah, yes, he was not from Australia. He's actually from New Zealand. Yeah. He was 7th grade then. I think it was the 7th Dan. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah. I still have a little bit of video from that thing. But I know exactly who you're talking about. In fact, I think one of the Ian Stanley. I don't think Stanley was his last name. God, I can't remember his last name. Oh shoot. Because I met him. Where was it? Because I met him when he like when pretty much everyone was still with George. Back in the late 80s. No, back in the early 90s. But I can totally picture him. I'm trying to thinking of where I would get that picture. Because I think if I go all the way back to the beginning of all my photos in Facebook. That's where I'm going right now. I'm scrolling through Facebook. Ian. And now that Bob's last name is in my head, I want to say it's Ian Withy, but it's not that. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right. I'm going to take that. This is really bad. I'm going to take a picture of the picture. And then I will, because I can't share. I haven't been able to share yet. Okay. So maybe if Kevin, if you're still on here, maybe you'll remember. Let's see. Okay. So that's the picture. Ian, I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but you were actually, Thomas, you were just a white belt back then. Hey, stop it, kitty. My cat's chewing on stuff. Stop it. You don't need to chew on that stuff. So, but yeah, no, I know exactly. I just can't remember his last name. Is it Ian Wiley? Ian. See, now I'm going to be stuck on that. Shoot. No, but yeah, no, that was a fantastic seminar. And I just can't remember his last name. But I don't think it was Stanley. Anyway, so there you go. Where'd my tea go? All right. Now, some shameless promotion. So tomorrow is the new year. Let's see. Tomorrow's a new year. Tomorrow's January 1st. Monday, those who are going to be able to want to register early for Bram Frank's camp, his birthday camp in July, will actually be able to register. Registration will be open. We are not doing a virtual camp this year. We had made it open for virtual people. Starting with COVID. Like we had our live camp like always, but then because a lot of people couldn't travel, a lot of people didn't want to catch COVID or, whatever, we offered a virtual version, and we had quite a few people show up. Last year we had nobody sign up, 0 signups. I did make it available because we had one gentleman who basically paid for the 5-day camp, and he had to have surgery, so he actually could not go. So I gave him access so he could still attend the camp. But even then, he never signed in. And it's so the last few years, it's just been dwindling. So instead of going through the headache of making sure that that was an option, because it kind of is a headache, just angles and views and all that kind of stuff. I just want to deal with it. So it is, and this year is kind of a special year. I mean, every year is a special year, but we are doing Bolo this year. There's going to be some special announcements this year. I know that. I have now I spoke to Bram about, and I can't remember if I mentioned this last week, but I did speak to Bram about something that I have been working on relating to modular, and he totally approves. So I'm really excited. This is something that I really can't talk about yet, or I won't talk about yet, unless, of course, you are a personal student of mine actively training in modular, because you are actually part of the process. So, but it will be officially announced. It'll be officially announced at Bram's camp. All of these different things. So, and then let's see. Now, I will change it. Like if people were like, I really want to be involved, but I can't do it, I will, what's it going to cost? I want to do this. If I get requests, then I will make it, I will go through the I will go through the headache of creating and making sure everything is online, goes well. But that would be like, because I know one person who Bram and I have talked about, who they are coming. They really want to come. They're very excited on coming. But their health isn't really in the greatest thing. So they would have to drive. So it's like, are they getting their RV, all that kind of stuff. So, and this person has been with Bram for really long, really long time. So then and only then, like, we're making an exception for him if he can't make it. But if people are like, I'm willing to pay, I'm willing to show up, because there's been times where people have paid and just not shown up and then watch it all later. In fact, I've had people pay for the virtual, not show up during the virtual. Then when I upload all the video, because I can go onto someone's account and see if they've actually accessed video, and never access the video, which is just money in my pocket, money in Bram's pocket. That's fine. But I see that kind of as I kind of see it as a waste of my time. I don't waste my time. So, okay. So let's see. So I guess I need to wait to leave for the Netherlands until August. Well, I knew you were leaving, but I didn't know when you were going to leave. So yeah, you should. Thomas, I think it would be fantastic if your last stuff in the States was spent at a Bram camp. I really think you just came to visit last time. I think you should come and participate, do it live, and go from there. So, okay. Was it Rick Faraci? No. His name is Ian Wyatt. Ian Wyatt. That's his name. I knew it started with a W. No, Ian Wyatt. Let me get my phone. Let's see. Let me bring up that picture again. Yeah. So Yeah. I know that's kind of it's a picture of a screen and then it's blown up. But his name is Ian Wyatt. That's his, see, I knew it started with a W. Yeah. Really like a great down to earth guy. Um, every time I've met him, I've only seen him like there was that seminar and then it was the first time. So I've only met him like 3 times in my whole life. And then there was that, and this was back in shoot 2006, 2005, 2006, something like that. So that was very, very early. And then I know that he was there with his wife. 2008. Okay. So well, maybe it was 2007 because in 2008 I was at Providence. I think that was still yeah, so it must have been 2000, it had to have been 2007, latter half of 2007, because I was I had been with Providence. I was at Providence January of 2008. So, and I want to say that even though I was at Pacific River, yeah, because that's when we were training in the basement of Pacific River. Yeah, so there you go. Let's see. But yeah, no, Ian, so he was there with his wife, and they were either, I don't know, I can't remember if he said she was pregnant or what, but they were moving to Seattle. They were thinking about moving to the States, and then nothing. So I don't know. I know he's no longer like, and he was with Dragon Society for a long time. And he actually had his own website like for seminars and personal training and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I never, I don't know whatever happened to him, but yeah, that was good times. That was some good times. Finally the name just kind of popped into my head. Let's see. Bram's Camp is coming up May 4th, which is Star Wars Day. I'm doing a lightsaber camp, or not a lightsaber camp. I'm doing a lightsaber seminar. I am doing a lightsaber camp on the Saturdays of 5 Saturdays after school lets out up until Bram's Camp. So we're doing like basically a day camp. And then I can't remember how long. Can't remember the ages that I'm going to go, but maybe like 10 to 16, something like that. So, but on May 4th, it'll be more, I was thinking about doing like a kids class, like a 30-minute, 40-minute kids seminar, and then like an adult, like a 3-hour adult seminar where we're actually like teaching lightsabers. So like modular lightsaber, it's amazing. And then let's see, in June, potentially, maybe before the lightsaber thing, I'll be doing, well, that's May. After May 4th, basically my birthday weekend, I'd like to have Jim Korn out here. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm going to make it happen. That's for sure. And then let's see, Bram's thing. Then I'll be in Indiana in September, and I don't know. I've actually had a couple people reach out and ask to if they could use the dojo as to host. schools or to host things. So that's good by me. Like, I'll let my students know about it, and if they want to come, they can come because it's all there. But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of that. So I do have a good 2024 planned. I'm glad that I had kind of that little gratitude epiphany yesterday. So I'm going in with a more positive mindset. So yeah, so 2023 hasn't been a bad year. Last couple months have sucked, but it is what it is. You just got to continue moving. And let's see what else has Thomas put on. Thomas has put on so much stuff in here. I didn't mean to click on that, but I'll get back to Thomas's thing. Just a quick question. Have you ever tried any fight games on VR, such as Oculus Quest? So, no. I actually, now I did have an idea of possibly how do you teach martial arts in a virtual world? Like I think that would be an interesting, like the next level of martial arts. Like you have everybody wearing these things, but they're practicing martial arts in their home in like this virtual dojo. I think that would be really, really cool. But, I haven't even gone there. Like I'm not really a game player. The type of video games I play, you just get in and get out, like racing games. But I don't do, and even those don't last too long. Like, I had, I think the longest, the game that I actually finished on my own was Myst. That's how long ago that was. That was on a, I think I had a 486, a Pentium 486, or maybe I had a Pentium 133. See, that's how long ago. It was a Pentium chip, 133 megahertz. I played Myst on that. I think my friend had a 486, but it's, but no, I haven't, I'm not really a game player. I don't own a VR headset. Yeah, I try and stay in the real world. There's an awesome game called Beat Saber, which is like Guitar Hero with lightsabers. Oh, okay. I think I've seen video of that. Is it kind of like they're taking their sabers and they're doing that, and there's music, and if that's what it is, I've seen video, but I actually have not. I've never played it. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. Thomas, you have been my sensei for 16 years. It's been a long time. Yeah. It's been a long time. Like I've been, yeah. It's been a long time. It's kind of funny because even the kid whose family gave me this little enterprise thing, I have this wall. I have these pictures on the wall of basically instructors. I call it the Hall of Masters, but it's got it's got Remy and Wally on there, and I've got Gichin Funakoshi and Oyata, and basically different instructors, people I haven't even trained with, but basically martial arts people that have inspired me, people I've trained with, that is basically have passed on. Mark once, when I had it at my home dojo, he was like, I realized I don't want to be on that wall just yet. Because he realized everybody on that wall was dead. But anyway, so this kid asks, he says, oh, hey, he asked who they were and what was the symbolization of that. So I told him, hey, these are people I've trained with or who have inspired me in my training. And, I put them up there as for honor, for honor. I even have Yoda up there. And he's like, well, who's going to put you up there? I'm like, well, I hope I'm not up there anytime soon. And if I'm on that wall, in a positive note, if I end up on that wall, that means that the school is still open, and somebody is like the training, somebody is still running Artists of Martial Arts, and I'm on that wall because I have passed on. And I was like, and I told him, I said, I don't know who's going to put me on that wall. And he says, maybe that'll be me. And I was like, and I was kind of taken aback. I was like, he was training for like a couple weeks, and he's already thinking long term that he wants to do this for the rest of his life. And that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. And he's still with me. Like he's a good kid, and he comes from a really great family. So, but he's all, still got things to learn. He's a kid. But anyway, I thought I'd share that. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just babbling at this point. Ooh, maybe actually, why don't we do this? If I end this in 1 minute, that means it will have gone for an hour and 23 minutes. Symbolism, number symbolism. Seeing as I am older than you, probably won't be me. Probably not. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you for all of you guys who have tuned in. And where's my tea to toast? All of you guys who have tuned in, thank you very much. I need to go back up to the school and finish cleaning, at least for a couple of hours, and then I can come back and hang out with the family and celebrate our new year. So, Happy New Year's. Be safe, live long and prosper, and I'll see you next week.